While the rest of the world is chasing the next big party or seeking out the loudest concert and the most crowded street, there is a specific group of people whose greatest thrill is simply turning the key and locking the front door. To some, staying at home feels like a prison or limitation, but to you, it feels like a kingdom where you can finally be yourself. You aren't being antisocial, and you aren't necessarily lonely, though the modern world often confuses these two very different concepts. You are simply someone who has mastered the silent art of internal protection, recharging your psychological battery away from the noise of others. Today, we are going to descend into the deep architecture of solitude to explore why your brain craves the sanctuary of these four walls. In environmental psychology, there is a powerful concept for human survival, known as the prospect and refuge theory. It explains our need for safety. Our ancestors survived by finding spots to see any danger coming from afar, while remaining completely hidden and protected within a safe refuge. For the modern homebody, the world has far too much prospect. It is filled with too much exposure, too much noise, and too many eyes.
Your home is the ultimate refuge, where your nervous system lets go. It can finally turn off its scanning for any external social threats. When you are out in public, your prefrontal cortex is working overtime, trying to navigate complex social cues and the endless expectations of others. This creates a massive amount of cognitive load on your mind, a specific type of mental fatigue that physical sleep cannot always fix. Only when you lock that door does your brain enter a new state, moving into what psychologists call the default mode network. This is the vital state where your mind finally processes memories and performs the deep work of healing your emotional wounds. You aren't doing nothing when you decide to stay at home. You are performing essential maintenance on the very fabric of your soul. Let's look at the biology of what we call the social battery and how your brain chemistry differs from those who love the crowd. Research suggests that for some, social interaction triggers dopamine, making them feel temporary hits of pleasure from being noticed. But for the dedicated homebody, the primary neurotransmitter is different. It is a chemical called acetylcholine, which rewards calm and quiet reflection. Acetylcholine is linked to deep thinking and a focused internal world, providing a steady, long-lasting glow rather than a flickering hot flame. You aren't antisocial at all. You are simply wired by nature to prefer a different kind of chemical reward for your brain. Then there is the factor of overwhelming sensory processing and how the modern world attacks our senses with constant digital data. The world is a chaotic mix of fluorescent lights and sirens, filled with the smell of exhaust and the endless hum of conversation. For many of us, this leads to a state of sensory overload, where the brain begins to shut down just to survive the massive input. Home is the only place where you curate your own experience, choosing the softness of your hoodie and the deliberate silence of the room. This choice is not laziness, it is a form of sensory regulation, creating the optimal conditions for your unique nervous system to thrive. There is also a deep emotional layer involving the joy of missing out and the quiet rebellion of choosing to be invisible in an era of visibility. You have realized that the most interesting things in the world aren't happening out there, but inside your own vast imagination. Within your own four walls, you are safe from the judgments of strangers and protected from the harsh unpredictability of the city streets. Home is the only place where you can drop the social mask without having to smile when tired or talk when you feel empty. You are not hiding from life. You are actively protecting it, ensuring that the flame of identity isn't blown out by the social wind. Solitude is not the same as isolation or being lonely.
It is the conscious choice to be with yourself for your benefit. So the next time you cancel plans just to stay in your room, do not allow yourself to feel even a single ounce of guilt. You are simply going home to your soul to recharge your spirit, welcoming yourself back to the place where you are free.